Okay guys, carrying on with the steering wheel control installation for the 2006 Honda Ridgeline. This is the ASWC steering wheel controller, and what you get in the box are a couple of things here. You get this controller box, okay, and you get their harness. Now their harness plugs into their controller box, and basically it comes with a lot of wires that you're not going to use. So all of these wires, you're only going to use one of them. At least that's what I understand from what the directions say for most vehicles. So you're going to look at their wiring diagram, and if I can manage to do this here with the camera in one hand. If we look at their wiring diagram here on their website, okay, we have the 8 ASWC1 connections, and we have black wire to chassis ground, we have red wire to 12 volt accessory wire that turns on the deck, and we have the gray red wire on their harness that connects to pin 3 of the vehicle. Below is a picture of the actual harness. Now this harness that you're looking at is the blue wiring harness right there. My camera will focus on it. That blue harness are the same pins that this is talking about, and it's telling us to connect to 3, which is right there on the right, 3 over from the right side on the top row. So if we look at where our clip is in conjunction with this harness, the clip is at the top, and then we have 1, 2, 3. So if we look at our harness over here, flip it around, our clip is up at the top. That's the clip, the connector. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, and the third pin on the top right is the one we're going to do. So if we look at pin 3's wires, we'll notice we have a blank bank on pin 1, we have a yellow wire going to pin 2, and we have this Christmas tree looking wire going to pin 3, green and red, green with a red stripe. This is the wire that's going to the gray red wire on the Axxess harness. So what I'm going to do, so I don't interfere with my pins, is I'm going to actually splice into this wire. Now, this may not be the way you would do it. This may not be the way a professional would do it. It's fine. I know this way is going to work. I know I'm not going to have a problem doing it this way. So I'm going to go ahead and tee into this. I'm going to use shrink wrap tubing and then wrap that with tape. And then I'm looking at this here, and I'm not exactly sure what this connector does. I thought that this was the steering wheel interface, and I think it is, because if you look at the color of the wire, it's green and red. I don't know if it has any relationship, but I'm not going to splice into this harness anymore to find out. I'm going to leave this as factory as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and splice into here. If I ever decide to remove the deck and put the factory radio back in, I can simply re-splice that together, and I'm not affecting the actual wiring harness. So let me go ahead and do that, and then I'll cut over to it once it's done. Okay, after a couple little wires that needed to be connected, we are good to go on the Pioneer to Honda Ridgeline steering wheel control. Let's go ahead and go over what we did in here. If I can balance this radio here with my hand at the same time. We had to create, or what I decided to do is create 2 jumper wires. I got a jumper wire coming from my green and red, which is pin 3 on the harness. You can see it there. And then I got a jumper wire coming out of this pin, which I believe is pin 11. It's the brown wire on the right. That's actually a ground. So pin 11 with the brown wire coming out of the factory Honda harness goes to your ground wire on your stereo, on your new deck. The green and red wire coming out of your Honda harness goes to the gray and red wire coming off of the ASWC interface. The brown wire goes into your ground, and all this is shrink wrapped. So I have all my grounds together. I have our of course, you have a red wire and a black wire coming out of the ASWC harness. That, of course, goes to your 12 volt key on power, which is your red wire. And, of course, your ground wire goes to your grounds here. So, with everything hooked up and plugged in and dry fit, we can go ahead and now test the Bluetooth, or volume up and down on the Bluetooth setting. So let's go over here. Let me see if I can't balance that so she doesn't fall. Okay, let's go ahead and volume up. And I am playing one of my videos, so I don't get copyright problems. So we go ahead and turn it up.
I don't want to use the old pulley mount, so I'm kind of
turn it down.
It's a stupid thing, but that's kind of got me hung up.
Okay, and then let's see. Try the mode button. I'm hitting mode on here, and it's flipping through the modes on the actual player, which is cool. And let's see, if we go to the channel button, I can hear it doing something, but I don't really have anything to tune. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so I'm hitting the channel button and it's flipping through the presets on the radio. So it looks like everything is working the way it should, and I don't notice any kind of delay. I'm hitting the button and it's instantaneous. So it looks like Axxess really got it right with this model. None of this is hard to do. The biggest pain in the ass is splicing into your factory harness, because you got short wires to begin with. Unless you want to get in there and start soldering and messing around with pins, I would recommend doing it the jumper wire way. You got a jumper wire, you get a little extra length, you can do the hookup the right way, and at the end of the day, everything seems to be working properly. So I'm going to go ahead and move over. Actually, I'm going to probably publish this video separately, and then I'm going to go ahead and move over to the Sirius interface next. Thanks for watching.